Well, as we head toward the summer months, obviously attention in the weather world turns to the tropical weather picture. And so here are some definitions and perhaps some explainers of what you might expect to see as we talk about the tropical weather. First, a little bit about how tropical weather systems form. One thing that's very important for the formation of tropical weather is warm ocean water, typically about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. That means the air is very warm and very moist over the ocean waters at the tropics. And so you'll see the water temperatures of at least 80 degrees and winds aloft, the upper level jet stream winds very light. This will allow this warm, moist air mass to begin to lift and rise. And as that happens, you'll see clouds form. Now, every day or so, you'll see little clusters of these clouds and showers developing out over the tropics of the Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean. As that warm air begins to rise, clouds form. Those clouds form and they'll continue to rise and allowing more air to rush toward this region and this area of over the Gulf or the Atlantic where this rising air is happening. So the continuous rising motion aids in additional shower and storm support. So as the storms begin to develop and get stronger and more air begins to rush in, the atmospheric pressure lowers. That air rushing in then begins to rotate beneath the clusters of showers and storms. All of this is supported into the development of tropical systems. And again, we have to have light winds aloft and the warm, moist air to develop down toward the surface. So once you get these clusters of showers and storms to form, here are the definitions that you might see or hear during a weather report. A tropical depression forms as these storms develop around that surface low pressure, but there's no real organized circulation center, and if there is, the winds are weak at this point, and there's usually just rain and minimal wind impacts if this tropical depression were to make landfall. But as the winds continue to strengthen and the low pressure continues to drop, winds become stronger, and once they get above 39 miles per hour, then a tropical storm has formed, and this one will usually get a name. You'll hear them called tropical storms with names once the winds get above 39 miles per hour. Once the winds get above 74 miles per hour, then we have a hurricane that is formed. Sometimes an eye will form, sometimes there's no eye, but the winds are dangerous. And rain is extremely heavy in and around hurricanes, obviously. And now these hurricanes have categories from category 1 to category 5 based on those wind speed thresholds. Now, as the storms become intense and the atmospheric conditions are really perfect, these hurricanes can become major storms. That's category 3, 4, or 5, and winds are at least 115 miles per hour, with storm winds that could go up to 150 to 160 or even stronger in the most intense of the hurricanes. So that's just some examples and discussions on how the tropic and tropical weather systems form as you go through the upcoming hurricane season.